Hi, I'm Charmaine. Welcome to the Love of Self podcast, where we delve into the emotional aspects of finding love for self. Today's topic is destruction. Recently, I remember a reoccurring dream I had when I was around 5. I kept dreaming of a spinning top that I used to play with all the time. In the dream, the top was giant. It was like a tornado coming for our home. And at that time, it felt very scary to me. I recently interpreted the dream as a metaphor for what was about to happen later on. And ultimately, within our family, there was a complete breakdown, and our family wasn't the same anymore, not long after I kept dreaming that. The world that I knew before had all been destroyed and had to be rebuilt. And that was the first time I felt the need to rebuild emotionally from some very tumultuous times. There were other instances throughout life where this was also the case. Things had to be torn down, broken down. Things had to be revamped. Things had to be redetermined based on a lot of negativity. And I'm sure in most people's lives, there's points of destruction and disarray, hardships that we all go through, that we have to build ourselves up from. Destruction in whatever way it presents itself. Behavior, environmental circumstance is all teaching us a lesson to help us rebuild life. If we look at it solely from an emotional standpoint, where the emotions have been destroyed in a way, or there's a major need to reconstruct the emotions in order to, you could say elevate, but I think it's different from elevation. I think it's more of a restorative realization. It's like a new structure within oneself. But the destruction in whatever way causes an emotional destruction is you to see and feel something. A lot of times it's a shock. It's uncomfortable. In whatever way it comes through, it may redirect us. It may reform us. It may gather us. And then when we pick up all of the pieces, when we see everything is broken down, broken apart, and we see all the pieces, or we may just see one piece of the emotional puzzle that was broken apart, we're forced to come to a conclusion within ourselves to move forward in spite of whatever it is that we're going through. And the funny thing about destruction is that at the very least, there's an opportunity to rebuild even better than was there before. But it takes time and effort and quality of thinking. It takes a profound understanding of balancing what's needed and what's wanted, what's available and what's not available, what's good and bad within us, and why. It seems to be the case that destruction can oftentimes be the fertilization of a new knowledge, of new groundwork, of new spaces within the mind that we needed to discover. Sometimes We don't know what we're afraid of until we're faced with it. And at the very least, it gives us an opportunity to understand ourselves and what creates these emotional triggers and fears and confusion within our minds and our spirit. Facing the destruction is where you're at your strongest. Moving in spite of your fears is where you're at your bravest. Releasing the old ways is where you rebuild. I'd like to thank you for taking these few moments to listen to what I have to say. I greatly, greatly appreciate you. So I'd like to ask you, the destructive parts of life that caused you to face your fears, were you able to do it? Were you able to look at things that made you see what you didn't want to see or feel or deal with? How have you dealt with the breakdown of life and or emotions? And what does that outcome look like for you at this very moment? Were you able to maneuver through? Did you end up in a more positive direction? Did you end up in a more negative direction? Is there ways that you can think of that may uplift this for yourself further? Are there pieces that could be mended to bring in a developed mindset towards where you'd like this situation or emotion to be? I'd love to hear from you. Please comment or email theloveofselfpodcast@gmail.com. Please remember, I'm not a therapist. Also, my book is out, Love Yourself, a book of poetry and spiritual writings for self-love. It's available now on bookbaby.com. Purchase link is in my Instagram bio. I wish you all peace, love, and joy always. Until next time.